All right, good morning, good morning. Yes, I'm running a few minutes late this morning, but I made it. I'm here, only 15 minutes late. Sorry, we were like getting things organized at the store, and then I decided I was going to come home to do Fun Friday. And then I got carried away with a little task, and then I went, oh no, it's after 11. So here I am. All right, 11:15, a little late, but welcome to Fun Friday, everyone. It is the Friday of a long weekend. Isn't that amazing? It's our first like really great long weekend. I always love the May 2-4 weekend because to me that's always the start of summer. Even though it's a little chilly out there, it's the sun's shining. But anyways, so I thought I would kick off Fun Friday on this May 2-4 weekend with some cocktails. Yes, let's kick it off. All right, let's kick off this long weekend. Um, and we are going to kind of explore these Quattro D sets from Stamps by Me. Now, these are not new. We've had these before. I've demoed these before. But I just think they are really amazing. And we're actually going to have these at our demo bar for the next couple weeks. So if you want to stop in person, you can try them out for yourself. But I thought I would demo them again because I love working with these ones. And what is unique about these is that it is an all-in-one set. You are going to get a 3D embossing folder. You are going to get the layering stencils. You are going to get the stamp, and you're going to get the die. You're going to get it all for the one set, and that gives you all these different ways of using them. All right, which is awesome. So there's a wide variety of these, and you can check them out on the website. These are the ones I have at here on my studio. I have the tequila sunrise, all right, and then we have this strawberry margarita. But there's all different ones. There's a purse one, there's a high heel one, there's a cake one, there is another cocktail one as well. But I love the fact that it's got everything in it. All right, so I want to show you how simple it is to use these and how effective they are. So this is a company called Stamps by Me. It's from the UK, and we have a bunch of different products from them. They have always unique products, and I love seeing what's in store from them because it's always different. All right. So, and I love that they're focusing on a company that's from the UK. All right. So, because they have some really unbelievable products. They're always ahead of us, I find, in the industry. But let's take a look at these ones. So I'm going to start with the strawberry margarita, but we're going to make that into a regular margarita. All right. So let's just open this one up, and I'm going to show you what is inside. All right. All right, so there are four components. Like I said, you're going to get that 3D embossing folder. You will notice that these are A2 sizing. All right, so they're going to fit on our cards really, really nicely. These also really make great embellishments and such for layout pages as well as journals. All right, so but that's a 3D embossing folder. Then we have the stamp. Then we have the die, and then we have the layering stencil. And I think there's four stencils in here. On the back of the packaging, it will kind of tell you the process. All right. So if you're going to use all of the elements on here, you're going to follow this here. So it says stencil 1, stencil 2, stencil 3. And then number 4 step is going to be stamping it. Then you're going to die cut it, and then you're going to emboss it if you want it die cut. Now you could omit the whole die cutting and just leave it on a panel. All right, you can still emboss it. You could omit the embossing folder and then just stencil and die cut. There's lots of different ways of using this, and I love the fact that you get all the bits and pieces to do all the things, right? So let's get started. All right. So of course I am not fully prepped here, so I don't have even my paper cut here. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim an A2 panel. Actually, I'm going to trim a few of them so I can do two. I'm going to show you one with the die cut and then one with just on a panel. All right. Okay. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to stencil. All right. So there are 3 stencils on here. All right. They're all numbered. All right. You can see I've used mine many times. They're numbered. There's a debossed number or engraved number 1, 2, and 3. All right, so you're going to start with number 1. And you want to I'm going to just center this on here. all right, as best I can. I know we're going to die cut this out, but I get in the practice of always centering it on there in case I choose not to die cut it out, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and center that. Because I'm working on my glass mat that's magnet, that I can use magnets on, I'm just going to hold that. I got a magnet stuck on the magnet. I'm just going to hold that with my bar magnet here. All right. And then I'm going to grab another magnet and just hold it at the bottom here. All right. So this is going to be the first stencil here. And this is going to be our base. So we're going to be building up the colors of our margarita. All right. So this one here, when you build up, you always want to start with your lighter color first. So I think I'm going to start with Shabby Shutters. All right. That's going to be my base color. And I'm just going to grab my blending brush here. And let's blend our first color through the stencil. All right, so I'm just going to pick up some of that. And let's just go ahead. I forgot there's a little piece down here I've got to stencil into, and I'm going to be very, very careful not to go past the stencil. All right, so there is my first color. Okay, now there are registration marks on here. If you find that you have a hard time lining up things in terms of stencils, use those registration marks. So you can always just kind of mark them with a pencil. Okay, those can be rubbed out, but we're going to die cut this, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to do that just to show you. I'm going to bring that up to the camera so you can see. All right, so I've just done the registration marks there. So when I place my next stencil over there, I can use the registration marks, or I can figure out how to layer it onto the image. All right, so that's number one. Number two is this one. So you can see there's a little bit more detail on here. So we're going to line that up. There's the registration marks. Do something like that. All right. So it moved. All right, got that right about there. Okay, I am going to grab my magnet and we're going to hold, oh, it moved on me again. It's hard because I have this camera right in my view here. All right, so I think we're good there. All right, we're good. All right, so I'm going to go with my secondary color. So I'm going to move up and I'm going to go Twisted Citron. All right, so this is going to be a nice bright green on there. So I'm going to load up my brush and let's do the Twisted Citron on here. Now, normally I would use smaller brushes, but because I was rushing, I just have my big brushes here. Okay, so there is number two. And when I take this off, you're going to see now we're getting a lot of that detail on there. You can see I've over inked. So good thing we're cutting this one out. Okay, let's go to number three. Number three is even going to have more detail. All right, so again, line that up. And we're going to go with our darker color now. And now I'm going to use Mode Lawn for that. All right. All right, so okay, quick and simple. All right, now I know it looks like it's nothing, right? Nothing. But when we go to put the stamp on, which is going to be our next thing, it's going to put all those finishing details on there. So let me grab my stamp platform. Happy Friday, everyone. TGIF. For those that are watching, big plans for this weekend. It's the May 2-4, right? We are busy this weekend. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and grab my stamp and you just kind of fit it on. Now, if you don't get it perfect, it's okay because of the nature of this stamp. So I'm just kind of looking bird's eye view, and you'll see once it falls in place, you'll see that it just falls in place. Easy peasy. All right. So that's lined up, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this now with a black ink. So the stamp sets themselves have kind of a distressed look to them. So so if you don't get it lined up, it's fine. It perfectly is fine. All right. So I just use a Memento ink because that's the first one I grabbed off my shelf there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stamp this. And margarita. There we go. All right. So you can see that ink just finishes it up. All right. How lovely is that? Love it. So, so cool. Okay. Let's keep on going. All right. So we've got that stamped. Da-da. Now we are going to die cut this. All right. So let me make sure I don't lose any of my elements here. Okay, let's go and grab our little die cut. All right, and now this will just fit right on there. Now I'm going to tape this down so it does not move once I have it in place. All right, I think we're good there. Maybe I should have my tape ready. The magic happens when you when you put that stamp on, that's when it really just comes to life. But then when you do the embossing, it's just so cool. All right, so just do it, Brenda. Just stick it down. Okay, die cut machine. You would have seen me before I came on. I was working on, yesterday I was working on some class development. So my whole desk was covered with stuff. And when I realized I was running a little late, I was frantically trying to clean up everything. So if you were to see the piles on either side of the camera view, but anyways, I made it a little late, but okay. There is our margarita. Oh, all right. Now we're going to do the last step, which is the embossing. All right. So you just want to make sure um, you put it in. I mean, it's pretty straightforward putting it in because it only goes in one way, but you'll see the embossed lines on there and it kind of matches up with the stamped lines. All right. So again, you're just going to do your best to kind of finagle with it until it lines up. And again, if you don't get it perfect, it's not a big deal. All right. It's going to be somewhat perfect. All right. So once you have it in place, you can tape it in place if you need to. I just kind of squeeze it and pinch it and don't let go of it. All right. And then you're going to go ahead and emboss this. Now, my memory serves me correct. It's like a 3D embossing folder. No, it's not. I was going to say it's just like a Spellbinders, but it's a little bit thinner. So let me just adjust the platform here. And I think it's like a regular embossing folder. Yes, okay. Like I said, every embossing folder company is different. So you just got to play around with the sandwiches. That's what makes the universal plate system from Spellbinders so amazing because you got everything there. You just got to figure it out. But you don't have to worry about extra shims and such. All right, so here we go. Magic. All right. So I'm just going to show you the deboss side just so that you can kind of see that, yes, it is, because sometimes with all the color and all that. But there you go. Now it's all embossed, and it gives it more a realistic feel to it. All right. It's just beautiful. And I don't know if the camera is really picking up the texture and the embossing on there, but it really is lovely. All right. Now to finish this off, because it is a margarita, you want to have the salt around the rim, right? So you could do a nice like chunky glitter around there to really finish that off as a margarita. But how much fun is that? All right. Super fun. All right. So that is if you are using it as a die cut, and now you can put, make a fun background, put that on with a great saying and such, cheers to the long weekend, right? So there's that. But I want to show you we're going to omit the die cutting, all right, and just do it on a regular panel. Okay? So let's do the other one. Let's do Tequila Sunrise. Just to change it up, let me just move this out of the way. And let's do the Tequila Sunrise. And we're going to do it right on the panel. So I have to be very careful on my inking this time because we're not going to die cut this one out. So here's the Tequila Sunrise. And again, you can have some fun with this one. You can make this into a Shirley Temple. There's so many different cocktails that come in these, a peach Bellini. But you can have fun with this one. So I think we're just going to do the color combination that the yellows and oranges and reds, just to make it easier for me. Okay, now before I get started, I am going to clean my stencils because it looks like I did not clean them from the last time I used them. So just a little quick wipe down with some water. I'm just going to get this other one because it's a little bit bigger. These are our new terry cloth ones. Our little names on there. This was my prototype, but we do have these for sale now. All right, so they're great for cleaning stamps, stencils, and such. You can see mine is very well used. All right, I'm just making sure that these are good and dry before I start using them. So I apologize that these were not cleaned up beforehand, but this is how I work sometimes. Okay, we are good to go. All right, so we have our white piece of paper, and we're going to start with our number 1 stencil. All right, so I am going to just kind of no, I'm going to bring it up a little bit so I can put a sentiment at the bottom here. All right, so I'm going to put it right about there, and I am going to mask this off because I am a horrible inker when it comes to staying within the lines. So I'm just going to use my last of my masking tape, it looks like here. Not coming off the roll very well. Okay. Okay. So if you don't have masking tape, there's different products out in the market. Post-it notes work well as well. But I have to mask off because you saw, even on my other one, I was like, I had ink where it shouldn't have been. Okay. Maybe a little overkill there, but at least it's done. Okay. So we're going to start with our first color. And you know what? I'm going to just put my magnet on there so it does not move. All right. We're going to start with our first color, which is going to be a lovely yellow. So I'm going to use mustard seed. And I'm going to go try a little light-handed on this, all right? Instead of me being such a bold yellow, let's see if I can do a light inking. Always feels so weird when I do a light inking. Okay, so there is our first layer. Okay, so there's our first layer, and look at the light touch I got. Nice, Brenda, you did it. All right, then we're going to go into number 2. Okay. So this one's pretty much easy to line up. I'm using the little lemon slice that's up there to line up. So I think I'm good. I'm going to go right. I'm going to go right there. Okay. Mask it off. Oh, my stencil moved. Okay, and now the second color I'm going to do is going to be orange. Okay, so I'm going to do ripe persimmon. And again, we're going to try with a light touch. All right, so here we go. Okay. Lovely. All right, so there we go. There's our second layer. And now let's do the third layer. Okay. Now this one here, I don't want to go too close to the bottom. I'm going to put the magnet at the bottom and then just kind of mask the outer edges. Okay, and this one here, we can go with a red, but I think I'm going to go crackling campfire. I think that's a really cool color. So again, we're just going to ink through that. This is kind of like a reddy orange. All right, so there is our stenciled cocktail. Doesn't look great, right? But let's put the stamp on it. That's when the magic happens, right? Puts all that detail in there. So remove the margarita and let's put the tequila sunrise stamp on top. Did not account for my straw on the top. I'm just making it. Just making it there. All right, so I think I am good. All right, let's go ahead and stamp. Now you don't always need to stamp this in black. I missed a piece there. You can definitely stamp this. I could have done it in a darker color. Oh, look at that. That is pretty awesome. I'm just going to go over it one more time just to deepen it up. Oh, so cool. All right, that really just makes it look so much. Oh, love it. Okay, so we're not going to die cut it this time. We're going to remove that step and we're just going to go ahead and emboss it now. All right, so my embossing folder is here and we are just going to line this up. And again, it's very easy to line up. Look, that just lined up perfectly. Yep. All right. There we go. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we got to move it up just a little bit. Okay. I think we're good here. All right. I'm going to run that through the embossing machine. And here we go. The reveal. So cool. All right. That little, I'm gonna say it's a cherry. The little cherry is really embossed out. The little details on the orange slice, the cup, everything is just, oh my gosh. I hope the camera can really pick up the dimension on there because it's really pretty amazing. All right. So that is, and now I could trim this down, put it on a nice background, put a nice sentiment on there. And that one could be done. So there's different ways of using these Quattro D sets, and super fun to play around with. So I suggest checking them out on the website. Like I said, they're not all cocktails. These are just the two that I have. There is a big, large size, like high heel. There's a purse. There's a cake. Super fun to play around with. But these are the new Quattro D. Well, they're not new. They've been around for a while, but the new sets, and they'll be at the demo bar this week and next week and the week after, I mean, so that you can actually play around with them and see them for yourself and try them out. All right. All right. So that is it for me for Fun Friday. Happy long weekend, everyone. Enjoy it. Be safe. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.